Hey everybody, Breakthrough Health and Life Coach Glenn Hattem here. I'm just finishing up an incredible workout over at Customized Exercise and Nutrition in Boulder with my coach, Terwilleger. And somewhere in the middle of our workout today, he mentioned to me that I was big and small. Big small.
No, big small.
Big small. Meaning from how he knew me to be and how I knew myself to be. We were just starting to get a glimpse today. Why there hasn't been any, no footage really of me working out or showing anything because, we've been waiting to turn this corner. And today was the day to start filming because we can see some impressive shifts starting to happen, kind of remnants of the old empire.
Yeah, the pump is back. Now, what I mean by that, now there's a saying in the fitness and weight loss community. It was called skinny fat. And skinny fat is someone who looks skinny, might even look good in clothes, but really they have a high level of body fat.
Been running all summer, but not doing anything else.
That's right. So they really have very little muscle, you might say. So when I thought about Glenn, today working out, I wouldn't have mentioned this before, but today he looked big again.
He thought it before.
Today he looked big again, but what I thought before was big small. It was like, you're still big, you're still well over 6 foot, a big guy, but you were small. You were playing small, you were looking small, you were emotionally smaller, and now you're starting to get big again. And you can see it in your physiology, you can see it in your attitude. Today's attitude was a radical shift, man. Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, for example, guys, we started on the bench press, hundreds of tough routine. We're in the last week of it, and very difficult. So we put a couple plates on there, a couple 25s on top, and I said, you know what, maybe we should put 2 10s and a 5, just in case we want an exit rep, we want that 5, we want to be able to pull a 5 in case you can't do the hundreds with this, right?
Burn the fucking boats.
And he was ready to go, and I was like, nope, leave him on there. Let's go. Burn the boats and let's go all the way. And you managed to do it, man. That's a shift in attitude. You know,
I was halfway in, I was like, what was your suggestion?
Yeah, you might regret some decisions you regret along the way.
Nah,
that was
not
good.
at all.
That was
not
good,
at all.
man.
Today, everything hurt today. Every single exercise, almost every rep hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the whole day. It wasn't just like some moments. It was like, that was brutal.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, it's something interesting because we've talked about this. Is there are days when you can come into the gym, come into your workout, feeling like, hey, you know what? I'm warrior today. I'm all about it. I got a great night's sleep. I'm nutritionally sound, ready to go. Those are fantastic. We want more of those days than less, but they're going to be the days when you don't have that. And you just got to do it anyway. And that's what every single rep hurts. So tell me why today was a little bit like a struggle, even though it came out in terms of attitude as not a struggle.
Because I mentioned right when I walked in, I didn't get some sleep last night. It's been happening sporadically, but this is just one of those times when the night before I see you get 3 hours of sleep. And we've all said this or heard this too many times, like, I didn't get a good night of sleep, so here's the worst of me. And we both could say today was one of the best workouts so far, by far.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
And it's sleep is very important, and obviously tonight I'm going to protect that more. And also, like, what goes in after the workout.
Yeah.
I mean, I rushed, we're videoing right after the last set, so I'm still out of breath. But I'm over here drinking my protein, getting my carb source. I got an apple here I'm gonna have as well when I sit in the car. I got some glutamine, I got some creatine in here, all these great things that help me recover well, and now just kind of flip the switch out of that catabolic state and back into an anabolic state and start repairing, start resting, and start getting ready, prime for the next beat down.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's an important point because I want to make sure we all understand that this shake isn't necessarily about right now. It's about what happened. It's about the next workout. This is preparation for the next workout.
Yeah.
Because if you go into the next workout the next day or so, even the next 48 hours, and you haven't fully repaired, you haven't fully recovered, that workout's going to be hell. You're just not going to have 100%, whether you got a good night's sleep or not. So this is really about going in, repairing the damage, getting the ground zero as quickly as possible with amino acids, with creatine to refill and rebuild the ATP, adenosine triphosphate, so you're prepared for that next workout to be able to give it 100%.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you'll see with a lot of not just novices, but people have been working out forever. They just don't realize that what you ate yesterday is fueling you today.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you had before your workout. It's very important. Your before workout is important, and then also after is very important. But what did you do the day before? So if you ate pizza and Chinese food or ate a little extra of this and that, and you're gonna burn it off in your workout, yeah, but you're not starting from a baseline of like I'm fueled optimally. And it's good. It's good when you start operating at a higher and higher level. You're gonna feel it. Just like if you ever got sick before. When you're sick, you come back and you work out, and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm at 40% of where I was. So the higher level of performance you get from yourself, you're gonna notice these little things. These things, you're gonna start tasting the poisons. You're gonna start tasting what you didn't get away with.
Well, that's so true. I mean, it's one of those things where the more fine-tuned you become, the more sensitive you become to those things that throw you off. Now, you talked about, hey, I ate some crap today, or I just got over being sick, so I'm only 40%. The truth is, most of us operate at even 40 or less percent because of how we eat, because of our lack of preparation, because of lack of sleep. So we become used to that, becomes the default mode, you might say. Operating at 40%, 30%, 60 if we're lucky. Getting up into the 80, 90% range, 100% is almost impossible to achieve other than elite athletes who just live it and breathe it constantly, and have all the support systems
no distractions.
possible. Yeah. So for the rest of us, if we're striving for 75, 80, 85, maybe even 90%, it requires that fine tuning,
Now, what would you say is fine tuning? Because it's not necessarily what you add in, it's what you remove.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you found that, like, as a competitive athlete for many years, what are those distractions, those things that you have to remove? Because really a lot of stuff's in your hands to choose. There are things that can come up, but if it's a reoccurring chronic thing, you can address it.
Right. Certainly from a nutritional standpoint, sugars. Sugar is probably the biggest, detractor from optimum performance as we can possibly get. Especially refined sugar. And we think about, just table sugar is refined sugar. No, there's so many other things too. Pasta, bread, all these things wind up breaking down very quickly into sugars in the body, causing spikes in our insulin levels. On a cellular level, this is what creates damage along the way, and a sensitivity to that sugar so that we get ups and downs all the time. So that's probably number one from a nutrition perspective. But really the key is the mindset. And understanding, we've had these discussions around what are some of the obstacles that we put in our own path. Eating a lot of sugar is one of them from a nutritional perspective. But certainly our own mindset, falling back into old habits, old behaviors that we know. You know what? I just know that's not good for me. I shouldn't be doing it. I hear it all the time. You hear it all the time. I've been trying to stop doing this. I really got to stop doing that. But we don't do it. We continue down that path. And now we're trying to take on something new, a new willpower challenge, a transformation of some kind, while still engaging in those old behaviors, that old thinking, that old mindset. It becomes a real uphill battle.
Yeah, and I even today when I came in, I presented to my coach, hey, I didn't get a good night of sleep. Not to give him, like most people would use it as an out.
Right, exactly.
I was like, I'm working with this and I want to blast past this. So the way I presented it, it wasn't like, hey, I'm trying to use this as an out. It was I need this, like, we're both in now.
Yep.
Like now we gotta, it's almost like when you're out running and you run on this flat terrain and you see a hill coming. That's not the time to slow down. It's time to pick it up.
Absolutely. In fact, that's what they say. Real true champions, winners, in life, period. They don't necessarily stop at the finish line or slow down at the finish line.
Through it.
We blow right through the finish line. We push through that finish line. Get to, and this is, again, we talked about the off ramp the other day when doing hundreds, right? 50 is the first off ramp. It gives you permission. Whether you take that off ramp or not is enough mindset training in many respects, right? You don't have to take that mindset. You don't have to take that exit ramp. You can push through, and that's what develops that mental strength.
Yeah, and that's what, today he knows that, he knows I'm never pulling out at 50.
No,
and like
never
60, I don't want to, and I'm really trying to get to that 85, but 70, 75 might just be where I die out at for a pause, or I make it all the way. But I found that, with you and I, like, the communication is so good that today, the high point of today was like, he was walking away, and I'm like, we're done? I thought we got one more exercise left, because I had just blown through the last brutal exercise, and that felt great because I thought I had one more to go.
Right, and you actually had a little bit left in you. But the key also is to keep in mind that, even though if you're an athlete training for a bodybuilding competition or any kind of real big event, it's okay. Because you're going to get maximum recovery following this. But it's okay to wind up on the mat and down and out for 20 minutes post-workout. But for most of us that have to get back into the real world, and we're trying to find ways to mitigate that stress, it's okay to end with a little bit left in the tank. It's all right. That little bit left in the tank helps the recovery process. We want to end, for most guys and women as well, think about your workout as elevating testosterone and growth hormone levels. After a certain point, they begin to plummet down. If we end the workout after they've come down, we got a recovery problem.
Right.
We want to finish at the top of that testosterone production, that growth hormone production. There's a tad bit left in the tank. That's why today, and by the way, this takes conditioning and time. You wouldn't have, we did this workout a month and a half ago, you would have had nothing left in the tank. You probably wouldn't even have made it.
Right.
But today you had a little left in the tank, which is great. You're using it for recovery right now.
Yeah, and we talked about this here, just about there's a lot of value to this time afterwards. So if you're just rushing off to the next thing, can you take time to sit in the car, enjoy your apple, just relax before you get on the phone, start going. This is an important part of training, is the recovery time. So are you giving yourself time to just relax and let your body kind of shift gears?
Yeah.
You've thrown the kitchen sink at yourself for 45 minutes or an hour, and you want to switch gears.
Yeah.
And so doing it abruptly, it's not always the best thing to do.
No, and I think, I don't know if we've talked about it with your audience, but you and I have certainly had this discussion. In fact, you're doing it now, you're practicing it, which is that, listen, your engine is revving at 10,000 RPM. When you're training like this, for any kind of real transformation, and you're pushing it like we did today, and you see some of the video.
By the way, I told them, I'm like, don't make me grunt. I'm not a grunter.
Oh, you grunt.
And like, I wasn't grunting, I was moaning with some high-pitched cries.
He holds it back to like that silent scream, you know?
Through the whole body.
Yeah. It's like a Michael Jackson song, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't let it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when you're training at that level of intensity, you're revving your engines at 10,000 RPM. Now, if you have a high-tech sports car finely tuned, 10,000 RPM isn't a problem. Over 6,000 RPMs for the average car is going to blow it up, right?
Right.
So you're sustaining that 10,000 RPMs for the 40, 45, 50 minute. Now, what happens is we're suddenly in a rush. We got to, I got to get this drink down quick. I got to get out of here. I'm looking at my watch. I got to go, get in the car, get into the traffic. Now we're in traffic. We're stressed out because of that. And more cortisol, more stress. The engines are still revving. We got to take 5, 10, 15 minutes of what might be like a meditation. Sitting in the car, sitting right here, closing your eyes, having your drink, just slip it slowly. Imagine yourself recovering. Visualize yourself having the body you want. Taking that deep breath, feeling the adrenaline go down, feeling the cortisol reduce, and feeling the breath coming down. It all happens through your breath more than anything else, right?
Always return to breath.
And when we do that, recovery is 95% more efficient than it would have been. Big time.
Yeah, because in here, at deep belly, everything's going. Out here in the world, we tend to be very shallow breathers as well too. So just
stress.
Taking time out, the meditation really gives you an opportunity to open up and oxygenate the whole body.
That's a huge point, man. That's a huge point. But today was a breakthrough, another breakthrough workout day. And again, if you think, and again, this is interesting because we all had this process. When I was younger, an athlete, it was like, I had to get my sleep. If I didn't get my sleep, I was stressed out the next day. I'm not going to be able to perform. That's not true. Sometimes you can actually perform better. Now, if it's chronic lack of sleep, it's a problem. If there's one night where it's like, hey, you only got 3 hours, don't stress over it. That's just going to make it worse. Just get in there and perform. And tonight, like you said, honor that just a little bit more.
Protect it more.
Yeah, protect.
I think that's a good time to cut it off today. Tune in for next workout. We'll show a little more skin. Look for the clips as well, too, of everything that's been going on. Yeah. All right, guys. Take care.